Hi there, I'm Bonnie McCaffrey, and I'm so glad you have come back this month for another vidcast. This is going to be a really exciting one because I am here with the tent makers of Cairo and Jenny Bowker, who has organized the exhibit here. It is absolutely fabulous. Jenny, will you tell us a little bit about the tent makers?
A lot of people want to know why they're called tent makers because they look at the work on the walls and it looks like small quilts. But originally it was design work that decorated the insides of large tents. And the idea was that if a ruler had this spectacular tent, it looked like grey canvas on the outside, and you stepped inside with the sun on it and were surrounded by something like stone.
So this is all on the inside of a tent?
It was on the insides of tents, and that's why it's called tent maker work.
Yeah.
And of course now people are not using big tents anymore. They do use panels in the streets for henna parties, for funerals, for Ramadan feeding areas, weddings, things like this. But they've started to use mostly the printed cheap panels. So the men are going out of work and they've had to find other markets.
Oh my.
Which means smaller pieces for houses.
So these are not printed, these are all
hand needle-turned applique that the men do in Cairo.
Wonderful. Right. Now you mentioned that they're on a street of other tent makers, is that true?
Yes, there's a street called Sharia Kayamia, and Kayamia means tent maker.
Yes.
And this is the area you have to go if you want to see this at its best.
How many shops are on that street?
About 45 shops.
40 shops. Like
40 shops?
Yeah, just that.
So are there 40 tent makers on that street?
No, many more tent makers.
Many more?
Because many have families, and sometimes there are men who are working in back streets who will sell to one shop or sometimes two.
Right. Now, will the tour guides bring us to this street?
No, the tour guides won't bring you there because
they won't.
No, because tour guides in Egypt work on a system of kickbacks, and if they take someone to a perfume factory, they put 70% of the income into the tour guide's pocket, and the rest goes for the shop. And they count on getting busfuls of people to buy and buy. The tent makers can't afford to do that because the work takes so long. It can take months to make a piece, and they don't get paid while they're working.
No.
They get paid only when they sell it.
Of course.
And they can't put a large amount of money into a tour guide's pocket.
You would do all of the work, and the tour guide would take most of the money. Not quite fair.
But this not a lot of money from this work. Maybe little money from your ticket. This you take it a long time from the work.
It does.
Any piece, maybe you take it 1 month and a half from small piece. And the big piece between 3 months, 4 months, 5 months from just the work from that.
Oh my. Now Hassam, this is your piece.
Yeah, this is my piece.
And how long did it take you to make this?
About 4 months.
4 months to make this. It's incredible.
Because there's more work.
Absolutely. As a quilt maker, I understand the work involved in this. Although I had a peek at how you work, and we're going to get to see that. And you work pretty quickly, so that's going to be really neat to see. So, about how much would a piece like this cost?
This one?
Yes.
This one, 2,000 and a half.
That's Egyptian pounds.
Egyptian pound.
Okay, 2,000 Egyptian pounds, rounded off, which would be about how much? About how much in British?
Let's say 230 British pounds. 250 British pounds.
250 British pounds, which is about how much in American?
I don't know.
I think
in American between 425, 450.
It's 1.5.
$400 to $500 for this exquisite, huge piece of art that Hassam has done. I think that's an amazing deal. And yesterday you had one day on the floor here and you sold a lot of pieces.
We were going crazy.
You were?
We had queues of 6 or 7 people grabbing bits by the corners and wanting it down on paper immediately. It was really interesting.
Now, do you have family at home?
Yeah.
You have children?
Yeah.
And are they also tent makers? Are they old enough to be tent?
Inshallah, from more bigger, you can make it the same for me exactly.
Yeah.
Boy and girls.
Both boys and girls?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Hussam also 3 boys.
You have
I am beginning learning my son.
Oh, you're teaching it. Is he 11? Is that what?
10
He's
years
10?
old.
Oh, okay. And so he's beginning to sew?
Yes.
Oh, I bet. What a wonderful thing to be able to share that.
They go to school as well. The boys are not slave labor in the way that a lot of people imagine. They go to school, they have a normal life like other kids, but they learn to sew. so that they're good and quick and part of the family business.
I wasn't thinking of that as slave labor. I was thinking
worried
that,
some might.
No, I was thinking that as you're teaching them a craft that they
Yes.
can earn money at,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. Is
Yes.
there anything else you wanted to tell us about the tent makers that we've missed?
I guess the idea that it comes from so far back. There were tents found in pharaonic tombs from 2000 BC. So we're talking a long, long time back. Paul in the Bible was a tent maker, and they know this because there's a mention of the fact that he went to Galilee to stay with friends, and because they were also tent makers, he worked with them for 6 months. There are pictures in the Ramses panels at Abu Simbel of tents lined up, and you can just see a suggestion on one of applique work.
Yes.
So it's old. It's an old tradition.
It's an old art and tradition, and we're going to get a chance to see how they do this. So let me get set up, and we'll go see. Okay, I'm here with Tarek, who has done some incredible work. Tarek, how do you go about your design process?
Some design from I make it in the paper the first, and
In paper?
yeah, and some design free. Like I put the material and I make it any idea for me. I make it from the design direct. Same like fish.
Okay.
This, impossible. From that design, I make it the design just in the material, and I put some like fish here, fish, flower.
Right.
Better.
And you draw on paper first?
Yeah.
Always?
From another design.
From another design?
Yeah, but this design free, not.
So this design you draw right on the fabric?
Yeah, and the fabric direct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you mark the quilts, the fabric with the design, and then how do you do the applique process?
I put the materials the first like that.
So we put a piece of
Yeah, this is the
fabric on it.
first. I make it the design here. This
Okay.
one fish.
Yes.
Okay, I put any color you like it. I put here,
Yes.
and I cut like that.
Okay. So you're clipping it so it'll
Yeah,
fold
yeah.
under nicely.
And stitches like that, piece by piece, and the small stitches is fine work. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I know quilters that are going to see this and be amazed how fast you do this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now, how do you get the details on the fish?
Excuse me.
The details, like the eye or the coloring. Like, how do you get this on there?
I put that material the first, and here I bring it the pen.
Okay, and then
I see here. I make the design the first. Here the, oh, this is a different color. I put
right,
here.
you're going to put a different
Yeah.
color on there.
And
Right,
the eyes like that.
Tarek, thank you so much.
Thank you
Oh
too.
my
I
gosh,
am happy for it.
I am very happy for
Thank
that
you
too.
too, ma'am.
Now we're going to go visit Hassam, and he's going to show us how he does his process as well. So stick with me. We'll be right back. Okay, Hassam, now you're working on a different style quilt. It has more symmetry, meaning it repeats. How do you go about making your design on the paper and getting it from the paper to the fabric? So this is a paper.
Yes. If I needed 45 by 45, same this 45. I make it this.
Oh, to make a square. Okay, so now we have a perfect
This
square.
45 by 45.
Right.
And I make it this same now as this one. Here. If I make it, some people said this eight similar.
Yes.
I make it here.
One more fold.
Yes.
Okay.
Beginning, I make it border.
Oh, a border. Okay,
Yeah.
you draw your border with chalk.
And I make it this first.
Okay, yes.
And
So does it always need to connect to the folded edge?
yes,
So what is this?
This
Oh,
is
a needle.
needle.
A needle.
Big
Okay.
needle.
Big. It is a very big needle.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just poking holes
yeah,
through all of the layers of paper.
yes, all the paper
Right.
because
So that
you make
marks-
it. Yes,
It marks all 8 wedges. So do you have one already marked that we can show what happens? Yeah?
make it here.
Yeah? And so when you unfold that, oh, I see all your dots.
Yeah.
Your dot. Oh, okay. So here's your design, and the design has been
This is
marked.
similar with this one and this one and this one.
Right. Now, how do you get this onto the fabric? So this is our background.
Yes. Example.
What is this? Just chalk?
This
Talc. Talc.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you just rub it through the holes.
yes.
And then what happens when you... So there's your design all marked
Yes.
out. And so then you would applique your
And
pieces the same.
if I finish here, I draw by pencil.
So you draw... Oh. And your pencil line will be covered up when you put the fabric on top.
Yes.
Yes. And that makes it very easy to see and transfer your design. And I see you don't do it so perfectly.
Yes.
It's okay. Well, that is absolutely stunning.
And if I finished here,
Yes.
I keep it this one,
Yes.
and I make it this up for this one.
It's like a stabilizer. This fabric is, because it's very thick and it has a lot of...
This cotton similar kitten.
This heavy canvas is used, of course it was the outside of a tent originally, but now it's become the backing and the batting. So what they do when they're stitching, they're catching the top of that canvas. A good stitcher, the stitches do not go right through, but you'll find this is attached to that at the end of the day's stitching, because every stitch catches just the top of the canvas and holds it steady. It firms it, and they need that to deflect the needle as they stitch.
Perfect. So that's how it gets caught to that fabric.
It is 3 layers. They have an applique piece going down, a background piece, and they have the backing of canvas.
You're right. Oh, okay. So it's like a back and a batting combined, but it's very heavy. It's much heavier than the cotton fabric.
Yes.
So this is what makes it hang so
Because
nice.
it's under.
It's underneath.
Yes, under this one.
So all of these have this heavier fabric
Yes,
in them.
everything similar with this one.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Hassam, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
showing
Carol.
us how you do this. I think we're all going to be inspired, and I want to say thank you so much for doing this with me. And Tarek, thank you for doing it. And Jenny, thank you also. Joan helped us set up the exhibition. And thank you all for coming, and I hope you'll come back next month to see what we have for you then. Thank you so much.